Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. I say this in the most realistic way possible. Understand that from the bottom of my heart, I try not to be hypey in any sort of way. I try to give the news. I know I'm very eccentric. Believe me, I've heard thousands of times. But understand from my viewpoint of someone who's been in the market for a pretty long time at this point, we have not gotten news like this before. I think a lot of the market doesn't know how to price it in from the standpoint of years ago, and I mean 2016, 2017, crypto mainly ran on hype. Mainly, that's all we kind of had. If we heard that a company was thinking of accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment, we would go up by 7% that day. That was that was the level of adoption that we had because we had nothing. Hearing that all these companies are getting into the space, I said before, I think that a lot of people who are new to crypto are also new to finance. So I think a lot of times when we hear of this like whale buying as opposed to what I want is another billion people buying into the market, it's because we hear names like Vanguard and State Street and BlackRock, etc., and they don't really understand how powerful and rich these organizations and these companies are. When you're worth $11 trillion or have $11 trillion in assets and you announce that you're getting into crypto, the main people who are going to pay attention are either long-term holders and or people who know what BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, etc. and Fidelity actually are. So I think a lot of times when we get news, regardless of how amazing the news might be, I think 85% of people in crypto, they understand that the news should be good for the market, but they don't know how to price it in. And also a lot of people don't know how to hold for the long term. This is all just complete honesty here. What we're seeing now in terms of adoption is not only unprecedented, it's getting a little bit insane because it's kind of like consistently moving in all directions at the same time. And this is why I keep saying when we are getting good news all the time, I think people don't know what to do with it, especially if we end up hearing that prices went down that day 2, 3, 4%. If we ever have any crazy days and prices go down by 5 to 10 to 15%, people don't know how to handle that kind of information. And they assume that the news that we've received is a nothing burger. It's nothing, just, burger, nothing burger, nothing's in my hand. The attention being paid to ETFs right now is also monstrous in a number of different ways. If you didn't see, this was a couple of maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. We had some kind of information from, I want to say BlackRock, who announced that they think that by the end of this year, the Bitcoin ETFs just within the United States will have completely eclipsed gold, like gold ETFs, like completely over it. Because we know that that the Bitcoin ETFs are the best performing ETFs ever, but they think that there won't be a real question anymore market cap wise as far as like us peaking and going over every other asset. On top of that, we have a number of companies who are also looking to get into the game as well. Because the idea is that if the Bitcoin ETFs alone, not Bitcoin's market cap, which is expected to go even higher, if we're just talking about the ETF Bitcoin market caps are expected to go into multi-trillion dollars. People are also looking at different altcoins now as well. This is a major focus point that we've been talking about for years. I think a lot of the water is quite muddied at this point, as far as years ago I said, we are going to hear which coins are winning. We are going to hear which coins are being adopted, and this is where the institutional money and subsequently retail money is and should actually flow. That's why when we heard before, weeks ago, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, and Solana, I was like, yeah, we're hearing a list now. If you also aren't paying attention to like the Made in America coins, once again, I think everything is muddied because of how many there are, but there will eventually be 10 to 15 coins that are like the coins to buy. They will be the Apple, they will be the Microsoft, they will be the Nvidia. Well, Nvidia is not a good thing right now, but like you understand what I mean. They will be like the creme de la creme, J&J. Sure, why not? That kind of thing. A company by the name of Tuttle Capital, who I think we talked about before, apparently thinks this is a great time to get into the ETF space, similar to other companies. At the time of me making this video, for those of you who missed it, there are currently 2 or 3 Litecoin ETFs that are trying to go through, 4 or 5 XRP ETFs, and now we have a bunch of other coins. And I think that some of these will do well and others probably will not. But Tuttle Capital is applying for multiple different altcoin ETFs, and they're looking for XRP, Solana, Litecoin, Bonk, BNP, Cardano, Chainlink, and Polkadot, which is something that we're also hearing a lot of as well. A lot of these companies seem to be expanding their idea or options as to what they think they could actually get through to pass by the SEC, simply because this new crypto-friendlier SEC appears to be more willing to let certain things through. I don't know if all of these are going to go through. I think there's usually some kind of a market cap requirement or decentralization in some sort of way, as far as we've been told before. But now we have another XRP, another Solana, and another Litecoin ETF trying to get passed through. The Cardano, the Chainlink, and the Polkadot as well. I think, was Chainlink made in the US? I'm not really sure. I know it's on a list somewhere. On top of that as well, there's a company by the name of Canary Capital, who we've also had many conversations about over the last year or so. They're a relatively new name into the space. They're not as well known as MicroStrategy. Canary Capital is filing for a Hedera hash graph called HBAR. I don't know why. If you can tell me why this coin's name is so insane and why the letters don't match, like Bitcoin is BTC, Hedera hash graph is called HBAR. Sure, why not? Is also gaining attention as well as one of the made in the USA coins as well. The expectations still are, at the time of me making this video, from all of the ETF analysts on Twitter and otherwise, that between April and June, because a lot of the filings were in November, December, and January, that by April to June, we should see one of 3 things: either an avalanche of ETFs being pushed through, no ETFs being pushed through, or some of the ones that we've been going over seem far more likely to actually make it and have ETFs in their name. A lot of people, this is once again, when I say that I think people don't know how to price these things in, it's because we're used to hearing certain news. The only thing that's important is Bitcoin's price go up. The only thing that matters is what the inflows are for the cryptocurrency ETFs. You don't realize that this also means a huge amount of institutional money will move into these coins as well. It allows companies to know what that is. They look at it, they start using it, the price rises. And yeah, I still think, as I've said in every single video, I think we're in for a very strong bull run. I think a lot of what we've been experiencing over the last few weeks, especially if you saw the crypto fear to greed index, went from extreme greed immediately into extreme fear. It took like 2 or 3 weeks for that to happen. This is always when whales accumulate. This is always when amazing things happen. And I do not think we're anywhere near the euphoric bull run, like remotely even close, because I think we need to see all these things go through and a bunch of other little small tidbits. But yeah, I'm very bullish on a lot of what's happening for this market. Yeah, we have, it must be over 25 or 30 easily. It must be over 25 or 30 different filings from multiple different ETFs right now within the United States, easily. It has to be. The ones that keep getting the most attention are the Litecoin ones, the XRP ones, and what's the other thing? That was a third thing. But there's a lot of filings, and if 80% of these things go through, it should bode well for the market. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.